Okay, first item on the agenda is the closed session portion of the meeting. May I have a mover and seconder to go into closed session under the authorities as printed in the agenda? Councillor Muir, Councillor Tedesco. Okay, all in favor? Seeing all hands rising. We will be going into closed session. Okay, may I have a mover and seconder for motion to approve the closed session minutes at items 1.2? Councillor Muir, Councillor McDonald. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Time being 7:02. May I have a mover and seconder for a motion to rise from closed session and report to an open session? Councillor Park, Councillor McDonald. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Okay, items to discuss to our personal items, personal matters, potential litigation, reports on identifiable individuals. And also we will be going into closed session after open session again because we didn't complete all the necessary discussions. Okay, the time being 7:03, I'd like to call this meeting to order. First, we have the traditional territory acknowledgement, followed by a moment of silence. Council of the Township of Red Rock hereby acknowledges that we are on the traditional territory of the Robinson Superior Treaty and that the land we gather on is home to the Red Rock Indian Band, the Anishinaabe, and the Métis people. Administration advises that there is no additions to the agenda. Do any members of council wish to make amendments to the agenda? Seeing none. Can I have a mover and seconder for a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Councillor McDonald, Councillor Tedesco. Okay, all in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Are there any declarations of interest to disclose? Okay, seeing none. Okay. Okay, we have Suzanne Kuko from Superior Country here with us tonight with a presentation on Lake Superior Tourism Project. Suzanne, if you want to come up. You can take it down. Yeah, when you're speaking, sure.
Okay, and I have
Is it? Oh, okay. Okay, sure, great. Yep.
Do I have to lean forward? Hello. Good evening. Thank you very much for inviting me here tonight. My first live council meeting, so in a while, so this is pretty awesome. Yeah, so my name is Suzanne Kuko and I am the North Shore Tourism Coordinator at Superior Country for the Lake Superior North Shore Tourism Project. So a little bit complex. So I'm just going to explain a few things first. If you can go to the next slide. So Superior Country, just because a few of you might not be too familiar with what they're all about. So they're a destination marketing organization, and their mission is to build and sustain a world-class tourism destination for visitors by marketing the region, fostering relationships with members, and collaborating with partners. And that handsome man back there is our executive director, Dan Bevilacqua. And then in the front is Casey Clearwater, and she was intern for a while there. No pictures of me, so purposely. So the next slide here, this is just a little bit of information about Superior Country. We're currently located at the TIC in Nipigon. Initiatives, mostly publications like the travel guide you have there, and Lake Superior Circle Tour Adventure Guide, which is popular, very popular. So websites, of course, our social media, and then product development, which is a new arm, I guess you would want to say, of Superior Country. And that's where this project that I'm working on comes in. And then our staff, as I said, is Dan Bevilacqua, Executive Director. Then we have Vicki Banning, Executive Assistant, myself, and then Shalane Saracen and Brooke Russell. They're two interns that just started October 18th that we got through the NOHFC program. We only have them for a year. As you guys know, they were, before doing option for year 2, but not with the new program. So yeah, and Shalane is sort of under myself as product development. So just a little bit of fun facts on the economic benefits of tourism. You can press the next. So tourism is a key economic driver in Ontario, generating over $36 billion in economic activity and supporting 400,000 jobs. This is, of course, pre-COVID. In 2017, Northern Ontario attracted 7.4 million overseas and domestic tourists, contributing 1.2 billion to the province's economy. And that is something that's, I mean, you read it and you go, that's pretty crazy. Like, we don't see, but with the Red Rock Inn, you see a lot of people coming from other countries and not just the US. And then at the tower in Nipigon, if you look at their sign-in book there, it's like Spain, France, like if they're driving across Canada, they're coming through here, right? So we deserve a piece of that pie. As the North Shore, I'm talking. Red Rock too, of course, because you're part of the project. Nick. So a little bit of background about the Lake Superior North Shore tourism strategy. It was completed in 2018. So what happened was a little bit of background there. The Superior North CFDC had this idea to do this project, hire a tourism coordinator to sort of bring together all the North Shore communities and have them work together on tourism to make the North Shore a destination. That was about 10 years ago or so. And the person that came up with that kind of moved on and it kind of fizzled. So when Ron Sallow came on board with the CFDC, he kind of dusted it off, and all the EDOs kind of got together again and said, we should really do this. But again, it didn't get done because no one has time to do that, because as Melissa knows, EDOs, they have a lot of other things to do besides just focusing on tourism. So none of the communities sort of had the capacity to get a project done. But that's when Superior Country came in and said, look, we can apply for the funding for this. We can manage it. And this is something, product development is something that we'd like to get into. So a strategy was completed with Parks Canada and Destination Northern Ontario in 2018, because as you know, you always need a plan to move forward with the project and to apply for funding. So in 2019, Superior Country applied to FedNor for funding. And then in 2020, they were approved for $328,000 over 3 years from FedNor. And then the partners were brought on board. So we'll go into those in a little bit, including Red Rock yourselves. So the Lake Superior North Shore Tourism Project started July 1st in 2020 with the objective to implement the Lake Superior North Shore Tourism Strategy. Yeah. So what is it exactly? So it's over 3 years, a total of $450,000. So as you saw, FedNor contributed $328,000, and the rest of the partners contribute on the balance. So hiring a full-time tourism coordinator, that's me. Focusing on tourism product development with a vision, as I said, for the North Shore to develop into a tourist destination. So Nipigon, just putting itself out there, come to Nipigon. for a week. Okay, what am I gonna do? Okay, I've seen everything in a couple of days. Come to Terrace Bay for a week. Well, people aren't gonna do that, right? So we have to be realistic and understand that our small towns in themselves are not destinations, but as a whole, the North Shore is a huge destination where we can, get those drive-by people, those touring people, and have them stay in our area, in our region for longer if we kind of work together and develop as a destination. So where? Between Silver Islet to Manitouwadge. So the reason why we include Silver Islet is because the Lake Superior North Shore Tourism, or Lake Superior, there's so many words and all these, the LSNMCA, so the Parks Canada Marine Conservation Area goes to Silver Islet, and Parks Canada is a partner. And then the CFDC is a partner. So that's why we're going all the way up to Manitouwadge, because the CFDC takes care of Manitouwadge to Dorian. And then the park extends all the way to Silver Islet. So with those two partners, we had to extend the region a little bit. So FedNor, as I said, and Parks Canada are partners, major partners. Destination Northern Ontario and Superior North CFDC. And these are all of our community partners. So Dorian, yourselves, Nipigon, Red Rock Indian Band, Scriber, Terrace Bay, Marathon, and Manitouwadge. So some people get a little bit confused about tourism product. They think it's maybe merchandise, getting t-shirts printed or magnets or made or something like that. But for our purposes, tourism product, it's a good or service or package of goods and services for people who travel. So like our Superior Picnics program, the Lake Superior Circle Tour, Group of 7 touring route, which I think you guys are mostly familiar with, all of those. Those are our tourism products. So tourism product development is developing those products. So the building and development of marketable facilities, vacation packages, and attractions. So here we have the Circle Tour that we're a part of here in Red Rock. And then we have a lovely Group of 7 photo as well, which Red Rock is not a part of the Group of 7 tour. But that's something that I'll be talking about in a little bit. So it can involve creating a totally new experience, but it often involves expanding or enhancing existing product. So, extending a product line into a new season, fine-tuning a product for the existing market, or redefining a product to meet the needs of a new market. So at the bottom there, we have some fish tacos. So instead of having cod in the tacos, you can have Lake Superior whitefish or pickerel or something like that, stuff that's fresh, that kind of thing. You can also have at the Battle Island Lighthouse up there, that's what that picture is. So, fine tuning that it's more welcoming. It's a more market ready product for visitors, that type of thing. Okay, next. So as I mentioned, the project is over 3 years, and the first year ended July 1st of this year. So we've already gone through the first year, and that's been all planning. That's been all about planning. So we've done a Group of 7 and Indigenous Group of 7 strategy, the culinary strategy, which we have a picture of there, and accommodations, investment, attraction. We have a sort of like a placard or like a brochure that we've made up there for to attract investment in accommodations, and recreation trails, market readiness, and water access point planning. So I don't know if you've read or seen in the news about Silver Islet or Rossport. So we've been assisting them with some strategic planning so they can go out and look for some funding, because those are water access points that they're not a municipality, so they don't have a lot of support. They don't really have a tax base or anything. So we're helping with that. And then of course, recreation trails is a big thing too. So years 2 and 3 are implementation. So that's what we're in the thick of right now. So implementation, we're looking at our Superior Picnics program, which is the handout that I gave you guys. That's the report on our pilot program. Student familiarization tours, and there's a picture there of us on our first tour. You might recognize one of those young ladies from Red Rock there. Our 10 fast track to success. So TEN is a short form for Tourism Excellence North. They're run through Destination Northern Ontario. They have a ton of training opportunities. They have a great website. It's a lot to go through. So what I do is I go in and I look at the training opportunities and the programs that are appropriate for our businesses and municipalities, and go through that and develop that and make sure people have access to those and know about them for the most part. Trails market readiness. So we have a Parks Canada, we're partnering with them right now to create a document that trails organizations and municipalities can look over and refer to see if their trails are ready to market, ready to promote, all that kind of stuff. Looking for trails that, you know, our locals have cut, that everyone knows about, but that can't be promoted because they're not insured, they're not maintained, which is not only bad for liability, but it's bad for business, because if you're sending hikers out on a trail where they're going to get lost, they're not going to be happy, and they're going to express that on social media and they won't come back. So got to make sure everything's ready for those visitors if you're sending them there. So once the product is ready to go, we look at marketing and communications. So promoting the market ready stuff that we're developing, and then community outreach. And part of our FAM tour idea there is to do community outreach to help the young people understand how important tourism is to all these different businesses and communities that we're visiting. Sustainability, so developing a sustainable model for the project. That's gonna, mostly year 3, that's gonna be happening. Dan and I are always thinking that and considering that, because what we don't wanna do is have all this stuff happening and all this buildup going on and all these things, you know, exciting things happening, and then the project is done and there's no more North Shore tourism coordinator. So we're trying to look at different ways that that my position can continue, or this position can continue. So that's an important piece too. So our Superior Picnic Adventures pilot program, this is just an example of a tourism product that we've developed that was launched in mid-June of 2021. So we had 11 operators in 7 communities participate, including Red Rock. Success ranged from 0 to 94 sold per operator. So we tried to strongly encourage all the operators that were involved to keep data, because that was this is a pilot program, and that's gonna help us improve what we were doing. So some sold 0, some sold up to 94 in the, I think it was, 2 months of the program. So there were 266 specials sold overall. The data provided indicated that it was 30% locals and 70% visitors that came out for those. So yeah, the most successful operators that we found were closer to the highway, participated in the marketing with us. So if we sent them posters, or we put something on social media, they would share it, or they would put the posters up, or they would make stuff up themselves, like or you know, promote when people would come. Would you like to try a picnic special? They were involved. They also had very attractive pictures for their food, and they had a local component to their picnic special as well. So I don't know if you guys are familiar, some of you probably are, but for those of you who are not familiar with the program, what we did was we created a page on the Superior Country website where people could go and choose their community wherever they wanted to go. So they could go to Red Rock, click on Red Rock, and then they'd see the restaurant, which is Red Pebbles, and their special, and you know, their hours, or if there was a link to a website or whatever. And then there's a picnic spot, which is the marina. And then the hike was Lloyd's Lookout. We gave a choice. It was either Lloyd's Lookout if you wanted a quick hike, or the Red Rock Mountain. And then there would, you know, be a link to the instructions on what to do. And Ashley helped us with that to, you know, choose the picnic spot and things like that. So these pictures are an example of what we did with Dorian, because Dorian, which was pretty surprising to us all because it's such a small community, and you know, their little girl shack, their community was the most successful. She's the one that sold 94 specials. And we found that it was kind of a perfect storm. They're right on the highway. They have local, they're actually selling Wolf River beef, which is a huge draw for visitors. and locals alike. And then we had our contest, and that's where we get this picture of Stephen and his grandma here. They went and got the picnic. They went to the Herkit conservation area, and then they went and did the nature trail. So that's the sort of package that we were creating. So how does our project benefit participating communities like Red Rock? We provide tourism development support and advice for township staff. So we help create capacity, which is really important. I am a former EDO. I was in that position in Nipigon, and it's a challenging job. You have your hand in a lot of cookie jars. So it's not just tourism, like I said, it's pure economic development. It's all kinds of different things. So with someone who's just focusing on tourism like myself, it's creating a little more capacity for your staff to support. Provide support and advice for businesses and local nonprofit organizations and volunteer committees. So this is an example. So I have a picture of Chantal Goupil's products of sweet treats based out of Red Rock. So this isn't something that we really planned for, but because I'm speaking with people and talking to businesses and municipalities all across the North Shore, I came into contact with a woman in Terrace Bay who prides herself on having like a local flavor to her shop. So she has local publishers, she sells books, she sells art, and she sells sweets. And I said, where do you get your sweets from? And she said, oh, like Sault Ste. Marie. I think they come from Sault Ste. Marie. And I said, well, I have someone a lot more local than Sault Ste. Marie. So I got her together with Chantal, and I just checked up with Chantal a few days ago, and she's still selling her products out of there when she can get them up there. So that's the kind of thing where, I know that you have Ashley as CDO, but there's always, I'm getting in touch with more people and more businesses along the North Shore that perhaps like your staff wouldn't always come into contact with, which is important. And same with the nonprofit organizations, the event support, things like that. So developing and marketing the programs. So as I talked about with the picnic example, it doesn't seem like a lot of work. It was a lot of work to develop that. Contacting all of the restaurants. What is going to be their special? What spots are we going to choose? How are we going to work the web page? How is it going to look? What pictures are we going to use? All that kind of stuff. And the only thing we might ask your staff for is, like I said, advice on where do you think the picnic spot should go? Do you have any really good pictures of that spot or something like that? And the rest we developed and marketed it. And you can, when you have time, you can take a look through that report and see what we did with that. So facilitating training opportunities, as we have there in our familiarization tour with our summer students. That was a big training opportunity that we did, but also, as I mentioned, the Tourism Excellence North opportunities as well. Ensures community inclusion in regional tourism development marketing. So again, with I keep taking the Superior Picnics example because that's the main one we worked on this year, but also with the cycling trail that we're helping to develop. It's the Great Lakes Waterfront Trail. And I know we're not really familiar with it here because it doesn't go through here yet, but it's a really long cycling trail that goes all along the Great Lakes and it stops at Sault Ste. Marie. So they came to us and said, we want to expand this along the shore of Lake Superior. So we're assisting with that. We put some money in. There's also product development money with this project. So we have a little pots of money that we put into things like that and leverage more to get the big strategy done. And it's also the glue that keeps all of our North Shore communities working in alignment. So, if Ashley is calling me up about something and, oh, I have an idea for this, or I really need more information on that. Oh, you know what? They're working on this in Terrace Bay. Like, this is perfect. Or at Marathon, they had this problem too. So let's see what they're doing, right? So it's keeping everybody like not working in silos. We're all working together for the same goal. That's it. So, yeah, if there's any questions.
I mentioned that one of the previous council meetings that has some fantastic services products around the convention.
Chantel, yep.
Anyhow, I had no idea. I have a council. I had no idea. Apparently, it's rough, great stuff. We've got a great garage session. There's people renewable. Difficult to get that information out. The product person who does the product, but also a floor shop.
Mhm.
There's a little bit there. So, get on the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, anything tourism related, like with Chantel, that's a tourism related, like a culinary thing, right? So that's definitely stuff that I can help with, you know, growing and promoting. Absolutely. And then once people come in and you know, start looking around and investigating a little bit more, and you guys start, you know, developing your side of things more too, with accommodations, RV park and everything, it's all just gonna, yeah, it's exciting.
Do you provide any form of funding assistance other than, let's say, our municipality, the one from the here, and probably would use that than marketing as well as food.
Yeah, I mean, through this project, our dollars are for implementation of the product development side of things. But Superior Country, that's what they do. So again, it's so complex, it's hard for people to get, but Superior Country sort of manages me and this project, but their big raison d'etre, if you will, is marketing, and I believe that Red Rock is a member of Superior Country. So yeah, you guys have all the benefits that come with that as well, which is, you know, being listed on our website, and whenever there's any kind of article written about top things to do in the North Shore region, something from Red Rock will be mentioned, because you're a member of Superior Country with a link to your website, and it's all there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anything that's tourism related. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any other questions from councillors? No. Thank you very much. It's great information, and it's super exciting to know that we have this resource available to us, and working with all the other communities. So it's going to be great over the next 2 years.
Yep,
So
very
thank you.
exciting. Yeah, and just to add, I've been in the position of EDO, so I know how busy they are, and we do reach out to Ashley, like I said, for various things, and we might, you know, be coming to council, or getting Ashley to come to council, or getting Ashley to sort of talk to some businesses or whatever. And so, yeah, if there's anything that people can share, or, you know, fill out a form or fill out a survey or anything, we just ask that they take some time to do that, just because I wouldn't be asking for it if we didn't need it, because I know how busy everybody is. So yeah, really appreciate all the work. Participation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a safe drive home.
Got my truck, so 4-wheel drive.
Okay, the minutes of the last regular meeting, November 15th, are on items 5.1 of the agenda. Are there any errors or omissions to note in the minutes?
We can certainly add that to an amendment for sure. Not a problem.
May I have a mover and seconder for a motion to approve the minutes of at items 5.1 with the amendment to the vouchers. Councillor Muir. Councillor McDonald. All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, the next item is 6.1, a resolution from other municipalities. Do any members of council wish to support these resolutions? Can you just put your mic on, Lenny? Just, yep,
Yeah.
thank you.
Perhaps we should definitely support the National Child Care Program. I tried to read through the bus stop dead end roads and had very little understanding of what they were getting at. But it's probably a good thing to support anyhow.
Any other councillors? Okay, so I'll read through the motion, and we'll vote on them. Okay, is there a mover and seconder for motion to support the correspondence from the municipality of Durham regarding bus stop dead end roads? No, it's not being seconded. Okay. Denied. Okay, is there a mover and seconder for motion to support the correspondence from the city of St. Catharines regarding national childcare? Okay, moved by Councillor Tedesco, seconded by McDonald. All in favor? Okay, motion is carried. Okay, the next matter is item 6.2 is information purposes only. Do any members of council have any questions? This is an update from the ESAB board. Seeing none. Next item is 6.3, information purposes only. Do members of council have any questions? This is Red Rock, Nipigon, Dorian Library. Information. Seeing none. Next item is 6.4, information purposes only. Do members of council have any questions? This is boots on the ground, peer support for first responders.
Is this something that we have supported in the past financially?
There is no financial support from the municipality required. It's just a communication that comes through.
Okay, item 6.5, information purposes only. Do members of council have any questions? This is a letter from the NOMA board meeting. Seeing none. Next item is 6.6, information purposes only. Do any members of council have questions? Highway safety concerns from phone. Councillor Muir.
Yeah, no, it's nice to see this is a big concern around here for sure. Is there any way we could support this in writing, or how do we go about supporting this as well?
Yeah, definitely. We can look into that for sure, and bringing a resolution forth on behalf of the Township of Red Rock inside of the NOMA organization we belong to. But I think that's, yeah, we can certainly bring that back. That wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, even if we could look at something with Quad Council and sending a letter in from everybody, because I know a lot of people drive that highway and it is getting worse with those trucks. It is getting worse. Sure.
Yeah, we can definitely bring that back for sure. We can look into the Quad Council issue, but definitely from the Township of Red Rock for sure.
Councillor Tedesco.
I also agree that we've got a lot of safety issues on the highway. I'm concerned with the recommendations, and the recommendations are that there is more punitive measures taken towards drivers and whatever. I think it's one of those cases where we need to change things, but hopefully through education and assisting them to learn better ways, maybe by aiming at their associations as opposing to really going after the drivers who we all really depend. Let's remember our supply source and all that sort of stuff. So these are good people that try, and maybe they're trying too hard.
Okay, next item is 6.7, discussion purposes regarding the ad space for a wall of remembrance. The Red Rock Legion has pledged to split the cost with the township as they have in prior years. We have an option of a quarter page ad for $6.99 or an 1/8 page ad for $3.99. This is the total cost of the ad that will be split with the Legion. Do any members of council have any questions? Councillor Mayor.
Did the Legion specify what size ad they were hoping to get?
Yeah, traditionally, we do split a 1/4 page ad with the Legion. Last year with COVID restrictions, there was a few reasons the Legion was not involved. So the township went with an 1/8 page. But certainly the recommendation of where we would go moving forward with this based on past practice, and again, moving forward, would be the quarter page ad. And that's what we're committed to split with them if that's the desire of council. If not, we would then split the 1/8 page. But that's why we went from a quarter to an 1/8 last year.
Okay. Yeah, I'm whatever the Legion's okay with, I'm okay with.
Okay, is there a mover and seconder for a motion to place a quarter page ad in the Remembrance magazine to support the National Wall of Remembrance Association in the amount of $6.99 to be split with the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 226? Councillor Muir, Councillor Park. All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, item 6.8 is for information purposes only. Do any members of council have any questions? This is Northern Development and Mines. Okay, seeing none. Item 6.9, oh, Councillor Mayor, sorry.
So this amount would have to be used, we couldn't tack it onto another fund already or another infrastructure project we have going on. It would have to be used for something completely separate from all the other grants that we've received.
No, this is a stackable fund. It's
Okay.
also a transferable fund year to year. So this is a 5-year committed fund by the Ministry of Northern Development and Mines. So that allotted amount for Red Rock will happen on an annual basis for 5 years. So it is based on infrastructure. So for example, if that's a project we could fund the bridge repairs on that particular project. So it is geared strictly to infrastructure and not engineering or discussions based on, it has to be a brick and mortar type of infrastructure project. So we do have a place to spend that money for sure.
Okay, next item is 6.9 is resignation from the Recreation Advisory Committee. Is there a mover and seconder for motion to accept the resignation from Kristen Mayenpaugh from the Recreation Advisory Committee with regret? Councillor Muir, Councillor Park. All in favor? Motion is carried. We thank Kristen for her work over the last few years. I signed the wrong form. We had one ready for the eighth one and the quarter page. So I signed that wrong. It's all correct now. Okay, item 7.1, information purposes only. Do members of council have any questions? Again, this is DSAB information. Their board minutes. Seeing none. Next item is 7.2, minutes from the environmental committee meeting, October 12th. Do any members of council have any questions? Councillor McDonald.
I just, I think the environmental committee, I'm not sure if the recommendations, when will we get a response for those? Is that something that maybe for our next meeting that we'll get responses on those?
Yeah, definitely. I can work on that, that for sure. I thought we had covered some of that in the meetings with the chair and council rep.
Oh, okay.
But certainly we can touch base on that, and go through that. That will be
Right,
good.
because these minutes are a bit not last month. They're October.
Yeah, and
Okay,
as
so
if the minutes get passed this evening, then we can touch base on that. I mean, there's some answers I probably could provide now, but we would wait and go through that at that point.
Okay, is there a mover and seconder for motion to receive the minutes? Councillor Park. Councillor McDonald. All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, item 8.1, report of administrative activities. Do members of council have questions of Mr. Pickney? Councillor Tedesco.
How does it look with insurance? The last time we talked about this, the insurance rates were starting to go through the roof. Are you experiencing the same thing?
Well, these were initial discussions, but definitely insurance rates specifically are increasing. Generally speaking, there is some issues. That's not speaking municipality. I'm not talking about ours, but generally speaking, overall in general. And what we are seeing from discussions I've had with other municipalities who have gone through the process, that municipal insurance is definitely on the rise, and we're working together to try to mitigate those costs. But it's definitely a little more complicated issue at this point, but we're working on it. That's why we started these discussions as early as now to work on our 2022 renewal, because definitely costs are increasing.
Mark, in the event that we experience some horrible things as what's been happening in BC, where there's been some really major devastations, will that event affect insurance rates for our municipality? For example, if the creek takes the bridge out or some darn thing like that, will that affect our rates?
Well, I would think that something like that would affect rates moving forward. But I think generally speaking, we're seeing it right across the board with our regional municipalities and all municipalities in Ontario. The insurance rates are increasing, and again, that's why we take these steps and try to get on it as early as we can. It might entail a tendering process, a bids process where we're shopping that rate around, if that's even an option for us moving forward. But it's why we're starting early in the process for sure, because we generally, well, in Red Rock, we've seen significant increases in the last year or two, and they're spoken right across the province.
Are there any other questions? Okay, can I have a mover and seconder for motion to receive the report? Councillor Tedesco. Councillor Muir. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Okay, item 8.2 is direction related to the Ontario Ice Fishing Challenge. Do members of council have any questions? Councillor Muir.
Yeah, so I was reading over this. I'm in full support of it. I think it can be can be done really well, and it's a good thing for the community. You can just promote it on social media and around the town. I thought this was a great idea.
Yeah, Ashley, our CDO, and myself sat with them through this presentation last week, and we both thought exactly that. It's a great idea. It's something that's taking off in our area. There's a lot of communities surrounding us that are already involved and or looking to be involved this year. There's a lot of different spins to it that we would discuss. I believe he was going to call us and make contact with us again as early as tomorrow or the next day, based on the discussion of having this meeting tonight. And we can tie into that kind of component where we where it says where we kind of do a local event as well, where we can tie in 3 prizes, say for example within Red Rock, where we promote it as a township as well. So yeah, it was a really interesting concept. It doesn't step on anyone's toes. We can work together with anyone else who's looking to have something going on at that time. So I mean, it is I think it is a great opportunity and something that can create a lot of fun in the month of, I believe it was February for the month. So we get a lot of advertising from it, and yeah, I think it'll be an exciting thing.
Councillor Tedesco?
Is there a possibility some of this could morph into things such as skidoo activities, dog team, dog sled races and all that sort of stuff? Perhaps it could expand as a winter wonderland of all sorts of activities.
Well, I think the more you promote your area, I mean, it only benefits what could happen in the future. I think we could, I think what you'll see from this is a great promotional and advertising program that they have that we can tie into. We can tie it right into our own social media. That was kind of the concept. You know, we copy and paste and post and advertise. We use their logos, their advertising, and again, we could take it to wherever we want to go with additional things. I mean, this year, being a first year, I think if we followed their program and maybe tried to tie into a local kind of thing where it's as simple as you put your fish in and we track the three local winners as well based on that, I think would be pretty exciting and a good thing for Red Rock.
Okay, is there a mover and seconder for motion to take part in the Ontario Ice Fishing Challenge for 2022 in the amount of $1,000 plus $1,000 plus HST? Councillor Muir, Councillor McDonald. All in favor? Motion is carried. Items 8.3 is for discussion purposes relating to the 2022 NOMA conference. Do members of council have any questions? I do believe it's basically going to be following the health unit guidelines at the time. So I would like to participate, but I believe we may be virtual.
Well, right now it is slated as an in-person conference. So there will be, like I said, there will be a streaming option, but you'll be limited to what you can partake in, obviously, in the question and answer and that kind of thing. But the plan right now is in person in Fort Francis, April 27th to 29th. So what we're looking for just initial right now is that interest from council is, hey, yes, I'd like to attend, or quite possibly I would, so that we can move forward with that.
Yeah, I could look at that too if there's some meetings set up for sure.
Yeah, and just let me know over the next over the next little bit, but so noted on the mayor, and then if I hear from other members of council.
Okay, next item is 9.1 is a bylaw relating to an update of the emergency management program. Do members of council have any questions? Councillor Muir.
So it's set in here for resolutions to make any major changes. So well, this will have to come back to the table once you get your CEMC certification for resolution changing it. Let's change the bylaw. We'll have to do that.
You mean myself?
Yeah, because as it's set up right now, there's the way it's set up, you don't have the boots on the ground, right? With the, where the fire chief's sitting. So, because you're going to be taking that training. So we'll have to run another bylaw at that time.
Yeah,
Is that
well-
a minor change? Because so that minor changes can be done in here without council approval.
It's a good question. I'd have to get back to you on that. This plan has been approved by Sharon Back, who is a field officer with the Office of the Ontario Fire Marshal. So she's had this in her hands last week and she's approved it. It's now in front of you. Once we have this approved by bylaw, as the fire chief stated last meeting, Township of Red Rock will be officially compliant with a few small exercises that we still need to undertake in 2021, but this is kind of the first piece of that. So we're still set and on target for full compliance by year end of 2021. And we'll follow that on the CMC transfer if it has to come back at that point. I mean, the whole CEMC full transfer may take a year with that anyway, but this will have us 100%. Well, this will be a piece that puts us into 100% compliance by the end of the year.
So, and this doesn't go back to Sharon Back now. It's just, it's done. Like they know that you're going to take it. Okay. So
Yeah, it's been approved by Sharon at her level to bring to council for approval.
Okay, is there a mover and seconder for a motion to approve the bylaw? Councilor Park, Councilor McDonald. All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, there are no new items for new business. Item 11.1 is an update on the OMERS review from CUPE. Do members of the council have any questions? Councilor Mayor.
So have you heard anything else from anybody else reach out to you about this other than CUPE?
I haven't heard anything else from any other union, so none of the unions representing us. It has been discussed by other municipalities, other CAOs. The general take on it right now is we recommend we sit back and wait for more information. The best way it was kind of described is it's kind of like the David and Goliath kind of situation. I mean, OMERS is that pension plan that serves a lot of people, a lot of organizations, a lot of municipalities. So there's definitely a push for an overview, but I think it's best for us to sit back and wait for more information as it unfolds.
Okay, next item 11.2 is an update of the tree concern from a resident. Do members of the council have any questions? Seeing none. Item 11.3 is an update of water concern from a resident. Do members of the council have any questions? Items 11.4 is direction purposes relating to the Recreation Advisory Committee. Do members of council have any questions? Councilor Mayor.
So what did you want, like a meeting set up for this, Mark, or to look at the future possibilities for this, or how do you want to roll that out?
Yeah, I think in the new year for sure, as we get, and that's why I kind of refer to it as kind of a look at a wholesome plan, a full master plan, because I really think that's something that we should do. So I would think that would be a good way to look at that in the new year and look at both the committee structure as well as the overall direction that we, or as a municipality, as a council, want to go with recreation, because I think it all ties together.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But I would definitely at this point recommend that we do that in the new year.
Okay, sounds like that.
Yeah, items 11.5 direction purposes relating to business recognition program. Do members of council have any questions? Or maybe, Mark, you can just speak to what your plan is.
Again, in the new year, I suggest that when that we would put together kind of a list or summary and promote that through our social media page as a, whether that takes us a week or so, just to kind of put that out there and kind of feature a business one a week, or one a day for as long as it takes, so we can just kind of put a little bit of that promotion out there through the township level. I know we did that as a good news story for the garage that opened in town, and they were very thankful that we did that, and I think it was well received, and so we can put together a plan like that in the new year as well.
Councilor Muir?
So yeah, that good news story, there was a ton of people that saw it. Like it was even any of the good news stories, like a lot of people see those. It's a super good idea. So anytime that's out there, like that's, you look at the Facebook page for the township, and those ones are just people share them. It's good. They're really good.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that I wanted to bring in when I did come, because I think it makes, I mean, a positive news story is exactly that. It's positive. It gets people talking, and I mean, we try to get them out there, not too often, so that they're not overwhelming, but we like to get them out there and show that good things are happening in the community. So I agree. I think it was a good idea, and I think it's well received.
Okay, items 11.6 is discussion purposes relating to council recognition program. Do members of council have any questions? Councilor Tedesco?
This would be a recognition of all people within the community, or what?
Again, I think it's one of those things that I'm recommending that we discuss in a master kind of plan way moving forward into the new year. So I don't know what that looks like moving forward, but it's definitely something at this point that I think we will continue to discuss in the near future.
Okay, as council did not finish discussions in the first closed session, we will be going back into closed session. May I have a mover and seconder to go into closed session under the authorities as printed in the agenda? Councilor Muir, Councilor Perk. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried.
Please could you spend a moment just to give recognition.
Well, we're in closed session right now, so. Sorry. Okay, council resumed discussions of personal matters and some potential litigation. The next item being a bylaw to confirm proceedings of council. May I please have a mover and seconder for motion to pass the bylaw? Councilor Muir, Councilor Park. All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, the time being 8:30, there's no further business to attend to, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.